Hello, everyone. Just waiting for my guest to join me today. How was your Saturday? Um, I send you a request. Are you able to? Can you see the request? I'll cancel it and do it again. Hey, sis.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, and you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Can you hear
can.
me now?
I can hear you loud and
Oh,
clear.
fantastic. How are you? How was your day?
Oh my goodness, you don't want to know how my day has been, but hey, it is what it is. But I'm grateful. Always grateful. Always grateful.
Oh, oh, wow. Fantastic. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so everyone, welcome to our live at Global Sororitas. Today we will be discussing transforming society through value-based living. And I've got my guest today. I'm just going to give a little bit of intro before we start, the conversation. So I'm going to pronounce your name. Just tell me if I'm right or wrong. Hizehi Anuge.
It works.
It works. Now tell me how it's pronounced.
It's Izehi.
Hizehi.
Izehi. It's
He's
just
Hizehi.
it works.
Hizehi.
Yes,
Hizehi
Izehi.
Anuge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is a value-based trainer, speaker, and author, driven by excellence in every aspect of life. She lends her expertise in multiple areas of value-based education and learning. She is an author of a children's book series, Captain Excellence, which focuses on triggering a value-based consciousness in children and Gen Z personal and creative excellence. Yes, sorry, yes, in children. And she also has a Gen Z personal and creative excellence workbook for teenagers. She's the managing director at Shape a Child and the founder of Inspire Excellence and National Service Excellence Initiative, expressing expertise by creating a value-based framework for institution. Izehi daily acknowledges that values build character in both individuals, businesses, and nations. And her life's mission is to ensure that millions of young individuals are ingrained from an early age with the values that make for excellent existence and mindset. Fantastic. I've been following up your work for a very long time now. I would say since maybe last year during the pandemic, and what you are doing really resonates with me because I I admire it. Number one, I believe it's imperative for us to have a society that is, value based, because that then kind of have a ripple effect in different aspects of life. So we look at some of the leaders that we have today, and you wonder, how do they make their decisions and what is motivating some of the decisions that they've made. So I totally value what you're doing, and I love you.
I
I follow you, and I'm, whenever you're on a live, I'm always there because
I know.
yes,
I know.
definitely. so so no one is born with special values. We are born all in families, communities, and society that promote and teach and impart value in us. For example, the Yoruba people have a long tradition of behavior in society. The concept of the word omoluabi clearly demonstrates that Omoluabi is considered a good person of integrated personality, which shows quite well the positive use of the mental, physical, and psychological characteristic of the human person, as well as an ethical rectitude in his or her society. So, this raises a question. If we are a product of our social values, what are these values of our society? What are those values?
All right, KG. First of all, I have to say thank you very much for having me this evening. I love you with all my heart, and I never fail to express that. Thank you so much. Thank you for following me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for rooting for me. Thank you for showing up at every live event that I have had in the last 7-8 months. Thank you so much, KG. And more importantly, thank you for sharing the quality of values that I believe in, because the conversation around values, I think there's no better time than now to start to have these conversations, and we need to have a conversation properly. So without people like yourself and the other many people that follow me and support this cause, I don't know, I should have given up 3 years ago. So thank you so much, and to everybody that's going to join, and everybody that is actually here right now, and the people that will watch it eventually, because I'm sure it will rerun. I would like to say thank you for taking our time, making that time out to be with us today, because time is very valuable and very precious. So thanks to everybody that has joined us. All right. I think your question to me is, what are current values in the society right now, currently? Okay, so, I started training in 2016 on values, and, once I asked the students, or they were young professionals, I would ask them, what are the values currently in our country? What values do we espouse? Who are we as Nigerians? What are the things that we uphold in Nigeria? And it's interesting that it's a very difficult question to answer, because there's nowhere that this is defined, not in our education sector, not in the family's unit. Each family now adopts the values of the family, or the cultural values, or the societal values. So for now, as a country, definitively, I wouldn't say, okay, these are our values. But if you go by what is really going on, I'll tell you that the pursuit and the quest for money, get rich at all costs, is one of our big values, you understand? Then the second value that I see, is prevalent in the society is the value of self before others, the religion of self. Then you now have the cultural or tribal religion over the common good. So you find that the values that are currently operational in the society are individual based. Me, my community, my people. So you see someone going to office and he's not employing people based on meritocracy. Rather, he's employing people based on who he knows and how he can extend wealth to his family, to himself, do you understand, and to his family members, rather than to how employing them based on merit. You understand? It's just not based on merit, it's just based on who I know. So the values that I would say they're prevalent in this country is just me, myself, and I, which is clearly detrimental to the whole society. But if anybody thinks that there's something different about the society, or that we have a strong value that we say, okay, Nigerian, this is our value, then I'm happy to take that. But after years of training, speaking with the students, the young professionals that I have trained since 2016, I really believe that the values that, it's by default. It's not like it's by omission. It's just a me, self-centered, me-centered, money-centric value. That is what is operational. That's what's driving the way that we're doing things and driving the results that we're also getting as a country.
Very, very interesting. Because that beckons the question, why? There must be a reason. And, it brings me back to the whole foundation. And the foundation, our foundation is laid from a very early age. And so you know, for you to have this perspective, and for you to um, run your business and interact with people from this perspective, there must have been a foundation laid. So if you can just tell us a little bit about your upbringing, so that we can have a little bit more insight.
Okay. I grew up at a time in Nigeria where when things were not, things were very, very different, extremely different. Values were not things that were necessarily institutionalized. When you grew up and church was different, education was different, communication was different. Everything was very, very different. So I grew up in that typical Nigeria home that I was born in the 70s. So typical 70s Nigeria. Strict parents, they don't tolerate nonsense. They use I to talk to us, happy to slap you for doing wrong. Your neighbors corrected you, they beat you in school, and definitely, you go to, when they beat me in school, if I do anything wrong, what happens is when I get home, I get a spanking for being, singled out for being beaten in school. So, it was a time when espousing values was just natural. It came very natural. We didn't have to make too much of the effort. So that is my background. And particularly, I came from a very, very strict background. My dad was, I used to call my house a zoo. My dad was a zookeeper. It was really, really funny because, once he appeared, everybody would fall in line. Once he appeared, everybody would fall in line. And my mom was a great, she was well aligned with my father's purpose. She was well aligned, with what he wanted and desired for his children. And so everything was in order. We knew what we were meant to do, when we were meant to do it. We knew how we were meant to do it. There was an order, and we never broke rank. And somehow those things became really, really, really embedded in my siblings and myself. The truth is, sometimes children are born differently. Some of them are born with very strong character traits, and some will have to learn certain character traits as they go along. But ultimately, the first institution in the society is actually the family. But again, the parents are a function of the society. So there's always that issue of, is it the chicken? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it the family? Is it the society? The parents are products of the society, but the children, when they come into the world, the first interaction with what the world looks like is the family unit. So at the end of the day, the child's first interaction is with the family. And so whatever the family unit, so a child's first world is his mom, his dad, his sisters, his brothers, his aunties, his uncles. So whatever values, are operational in that house, those are the values that a child will grow up naturally, espousing or having embedded in him and growing with. So I grew up in a typical Nigerian house, typical street house, typical, you don't go out, you don't just fall out. You can't just go out like that, you can't just do certain things. Everything, there was an order and a structure to everything that we did. We had a time for everything. By the age of 6, I was already washing clothes. I remember we had a well at the back of my house. I grew up in Surulere, Jalapon Estate, near Census Board. And I remember my mom, she would make my sister and I wake up at 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning. My sister is a year older than myself, so I'm the second child. And, we would be washing clothes. So we would fetch water from the well, and we would wash those clothes. We used to wash from 6 to 8. I hated washing. Till today, you can't make me wash again. I would not wash for any reason. I hate washing, but it was something that I learned that I had to do. And those things, when I got to secondary school, I also realized that it guided my ability to know, as much as I hated it. So when you have those values embedded in you, it's not about what you like. It's not about, I like it or I don't like it. You see the outcome and the purpose for which you are doing that thing. So, on my page, I continue to drive that. Every value you embed has an outcome. It has an outcome. So it was not, when I got to secondary school, of course, there was somebody that was going to wash my clothes for me. I had to wash my clothes myself. As much as I hated to wash clothes, I realized that, it's not about what I hate. It's about what needs to be done. So I grew up in a family setting that helped me to understand that you don't do things because you like them. You do it because it must be done. It's the right thing to do, and there's a corresponding action or outcome that is coming out, from the right choices that you make based on those values.
Yes. The 70s obviously was quite a different time to what we have now,
Absolutely.
2021.
Far
There's a
cry.
lot, we can unpick that. There's a lot that has changed. But I wanted to ask you, has it been difficult to navigate your business relations, personal relationships because of your approach? Looking at things from a value-based perspective. Has that created any conflict or challenges for you? And if it has, would you give us an example of it?
Well, I'll tell you, it hasn't created any conflict or challenge for me. None. It's my values. I cannot live beyond, I cannot live outside of my values. So I can't be conflicted because other people have a set of values that they choose to live by. So they do them, I do me. So when people ask, oh, how does it feel being you in a world like this? I ask them, how does it feel being you in the world that you're in? You understand? I don't see it as a conflict, and I have so many examples to draw from. Doing business now, while I understand and hear what you're asking, whether it's tough, it's I don't see it as tough. I just realize that there's an outcome that comes from being the way I am, being values based. My relationships, they're all based on values. And the good thing about values is, the more you understand values, the more you understand that you do not necessarily have to align with everybody that shares similar values with you, because sometimes people that have opposite values to you, they complement you. You understand? It could be
Yes.
complementary, it could be detrimental, it could be collaborative.
Right.
So it's very important that we understand, what values will do for you and how to choose. It's very, very critical and very important now to create that framework to embed and keep people into. So with regards to it being difficult, you say, I have gone to places or have been in the midst of people where I've had to do business with and they're like, change the figure. I tell them I won't change the figure. I won't do the business. It means I will not have the money. So once I understand the outcome from the choices that I make based on my values, I understand that there's a corresponding outcome that I'm going to receive. It means I'm not going to have the money. What does that mean? It means I'm poorer, small. Can I live with it? Yes. If I can live with it, then I take it. So that's why I say it's for me, it's not difficult, because I do understand that there's a price for being the way that you are. Once you are a values-based outcome individual, and you understand how to use your values to drive your outcomes. It's just a question of choice. Just understand that every value you honor, it's reaffirming a value, it's supporting a value. And for every value you honor, there's a corresponding outcome. Make up your mind and make the decision. You understand? I have been carrying my hair straight. I will tell you this funny thing. I've been carrying my hair, my natural hair, and if you've observed, I pack my hair. So for about 4 years now, since 2016, I have been packing my hair. Just, pack my hair nicely into a nice bun. And there's a reason for it. What actually started it was the fact that I had started this new business in 2016. And when I started the business, that is the values-based learning, I really did not, I didn't have a lot of money at my, available to me. There's a reason for that, because I had been in another line of business for about 12, 13 years. So this was me starting a new business with almost zero to nothing amount of money. I realized that, okay, one of the things I needed to do was I needed to stop buying hair. Hair was expensive, right? So I was using my hair, and I realized I needed to stop buying clothes. I needed to stop buying shoes. Why? Because I had to invest in my business. So my values also taught me that everything in life is a process, that nothing happens overnight. And for you to go through the process, there's a corresponding outcome and reward at the end of it. I didn't like it. Again, we are talking about values. They will give you a conviction, right? To feel, even if I'm not making the money, but you feel like, there's nothing like going to bed at night and being able to sleep.
Yes.
And please remind me to reaffirm this through another story. And so I don't pack my hair, or I don't use hair. I haven't used hair for 4 years. I started packing my hair. When we're having events and I'm with a group of some group of people, they will say to me, this thing we are going for, you have to have hair. I say, why do I have to? Why is the have to? You cannot pressurize me to espouse your values. But I don't say it in that way. It's a default for me. And that's why I said it's not difficult. I just understand that there's a corresponding price. I will go out and I probably will not be the most attractive person there. So what? Okay, so if I'm attractive, then what happens? What outcome am I trying to get out of being attractive in that particular instance or circumstance? What is the outcome I'm trying to achieve? If I don't have any, then it doesn't matter to me. So when they say, we are doing this, you have to have hair this, I said, nada. I'm packing my hair like this. I'm going to that place. If you don't like it, or you transformer. There's nothing I can do about it. You just have to deal with it. So yes, it is difficult. You find that once you honor your value, one, you sleep in peace. The second thing that it does for you is that you understand by default, if I do not do this thing, I'm going to get a particular outcome. You might not necessarily like it, but you understand that, you know what, I can sleep with it, it's the right thing to do, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. So the pressures that you have to face when you were at the live, or you said you listened to the live event that I did with Bonus Mom at Bonus Mom. And every time I tell that story, people say, were you afraid? I said, I wasn't afraid. I was convicted. I had a strong conviction. If I had to go to jail, for that particular act, I would have gone to jail. I was not afraid, because by the time you honor a value because of fear, it's not really a value. It's not a value. And that's why when we're talking about in Nigeria, in our nation, we are not espousing the values that by default you go to a space. I want to employ people. The first thing you're thinking about is how to change the figures, get somebody that is quack, because you want to enrich your brother and steals for. You are not afraid of anybody. Not because nobody is going to beat you for honoring those set values. You just understand that means I will not be too rich, I won't be too famous, I won't be too popular. But then again, you ask yourself, what am I doing with those things? How will it affect my own outcome? How will it affect my life? Yes. So once you're clear about those things, you're dealing with people that lack integrity. They say to you, this is what I'll deliver, 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 this is what I'll deliver. You pay them money and suddenly they turn on you. You give a plumber money and he finds it okay to take that money and walk away, or do the job haphazard, come back and tell you, we need more money. The society has embraced it because we are driven by just get rich quick or die.
Yes.
Anyhow, hammer. Well, yes, it's a bit tough, but it doesn't faze me because I sleep at night knowing that, I have peace. I have peace, you understand? So I sleep easy. It's tough, but I do sleep at night. I sleep peacefully. I don't have to do my hair. I'm now so used to it. Somebody said to me the other day, your hair is now a signature. I said, well, it wasn't meant to be a signature. At the time, I needed to honor values that would help my business get to where it needed to go to. I had a message, there was something I needed to do, and based on the values that I needed at that time, personal development and growth of my business, that was my focus. That meant that I had to put any money I had, nothing was as important as what? Putting money, investing my money, because I said value is a currency. It is a currency. And so I had to use my value, you understand, to purchase what I wanted. And 2016 to now, right now, if I don't even fix my hair, hey, I couldn't even care less. It doesn't really matter. So, those are the things that values, once they're well embedded in children, it's just a default. It's not because mommy's going to smack me. Mommy smack me. Well, mommy doesn't need to smack me. No. I know what I want, and I know the outcome I'm trying to derive out of this part, honoring this value. So it is tough, especially in a society that dictates, that, oh no, once you have certain values, who are you, it's conflicting, but no. I continue to say to people that when people like us that, are still big on values, even though we feel it doesn't help us, the truth of the matter is we should come together and form our collaborative efforts and push the message, because if we don't make our voices loud, the voices of the people that can make their voices loud will take over the hearing of what our children are hearing. And again, dysfunction, no matter how long it is functional, it can never be functional. Dysfunction is not function. Dysfunction is dysfunction. And we must not allow the society dictate to our children that the things that are wrong are suddenly right. Right is right. The right can never be redefined. Progress can never be redefined. Development can never be redefined. So nothing, no matter the technological advancement we attain, the truth of the matter is we need to raise children that are values-based, who understand how to create values-based outcome. If the society is going to change, we must change the values, the way we interact with values. It must be institutionalized, and people must start to take the conversation around values seriously. We cannot leave it to the churches alone, because even most of some of the churches, I question their values. I question the values that they espouse directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously. So yes, it's a tough one, but I just realized that I'll lose some things once I honor certain values, and I'm fine with it. I'm not materialistic. I'm not that materialistic, so it doesn't matter to me. And if it's a business, I'll walk away from it. I will walk away from any business. I will walk, not because I have money, but so that I can sleep in peace. I don't want God to punish me. I just feel like God will say, hey, you, Zehi, that contract is 5,000. The balance money belongs to the children. God, that's what I feel genuinely that God will punish me. You understand? I feel that I will not be able to answer. I will not be able to respond to God when I get to heaven. I'll be like, well, what happened was, no, so let me explain. Nah, it's not worth it for me. It's really not worth it. My peace is very important. Peace over anything. The good, the common good for me is a strong value. Service is a very strong value. Common good, development, continuous improvement, empowering people, it's very important to me. And I see that the more people you empower, the better the society is.
Boy, there's so much in what you just said. Consistency.
Yeah.
Showing up as your true self.
Absolutely.
All the time. And what I found is people will eventually, they will have to adapt.
Absolutely. People adapt to me.
Yeah, they will adapt.
They just know who she
that's the way she
is.
In
fact, I will tell you what happened recently. So I don't know. This Christmas, I decided I wanted to do my hair, that I think, okay, I have earned it. I've suffered 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 2020, let me now do hair. I contacted a friend of mine. They said, I want to do hair. Do you know she actually said, nonsense? Please get away. She refused to sell the hair to me. I ended up braiding my hair. I was like, look I want to even spend money. You're telling me. I said, you know what, better for me. I really don't need it. So I had gotten to the point where I had built that reputation as bad market. You understand? Yes, okay, fine. Yes, I'm bad market. I have to build I have a purpose. I need to build my trade. And the second story I wanted to tell you is, with regards to values, people believe that values are so, the study on values, they're so specific and now very technical, that when we understand that there's some people that feel that to get money at all costs is the way to go. It is a value. It's a strong value, and it will drive their choices. So I say that when you build a framework and you define your values and define the ethical standards to support the values, it's important that you carry your children and your family, and schools should carry children and their team members along on the definition of those ethical standards to support those values. Because when we are in class, and we're talking, that's when I'm training young graduates. And, they say to me, I asked them, what do you say about girls that, I call them sugary babes, like that sugary situation they were going to put me in while I was in school. What do you think of them? And they say, those girls are nasty, they're this, they're that. Why? And I say to them that it's a real value to them. It is a real value. It is a value to them. And they believe it. And every choice they make is driven by those values. Now, how they adopted it came from somewhere.
Yeah. That
makes them believe. And that's why when you said the society, at your first question to me, we pick those things from the society. And that's why we talk about chicken egg. Sometimes parents communicate that those things are okay. For example, those days when we were young, you can't come back with a flask that is not yours. You go to school with your flask, you return with another person's flask. They will ask you how you made that mistake. How? Yeah. You will be beaten. In fact, your parents will take you to school and embarrass you in school for that, right? But it's so different right now. Parents are really busy, and we have to acknowledge the fact that the role of women in the society is now more defined, in that women want to pursue their purpose. We find that the population of the world is becoming more, and we need more hands on deck. So that means the role of women has, everything is changing.
Yeah.
So there has to be a framework that will help children now learn the values that their parents learned from their family structures, which was different when their families learned it. So one of the mistakes we are making is we are doing things the way we knew it, without
Yes.
understanding that the society has moved beyond that stage. We are not where we used to be. Communication is different. Everything is so different right now that we can't afford to do it the way we used to. Children have access to the internet. They're smarter than us. They're very, very intelligent. So we need to become more ingenious in the way we embed values in children.
Definitely. And I think creativity plays
Absolutely
a part to it as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And that just leads us into, what you are doing and what inspires you to create Captain Excellence series. What inspired you to do that?
KG, that story is, like I said, I started training youth couples, right? I started out with youth couples. The funny thing was, nobody wanted to pay for those training. When I said, I want to teach them values, they look at me and say, we all have values now. I said, okay, no problem. You people don't want to learn values. I will train you them I'll do it on my cost. So when I started out, I did plenty of free trainings, but good enough, or good a thing, I had people who believed and supported as early as 2016 that we really needed to create some kind of intervention with our values learning and values focus in the country. So a few months I'll get some companies, some individuals, I'll say I'll pay for 10 youth couples, I'll pay for 15. So I had to train 30 every month. 30 every month. And the more I trained this, so I started out with young professionals. I noticed that the young professionals, there was a disconnect. When you're teaching them, everybody, you ask them, what do you want to do? I want to work in this place. Most of the females wanted to get married. Everybody just had that default consciousness of wanting to just be comfortable and make money, but nobody wanted to pay the price. And, I said, okay, maybe I've gone too far up, that I should come down. That is, I should now start to teach youth couples. Maybe if I catch them just before they go into the marketplace, then to be easier. KG, I got there, it was worse. I would tell a youth couple to please, if you earn 80,000 naira a month, that's for 27, 26 days, calculate how much you earn if you work for 8 hours a day. Calculate your money to the hour. You see, when your value is well embedded, when values are well embedded in an individual, they understand that they can't afford to waste their time. And that's one of the reasons why I say values is not for morality. It's not to make people moral or immoral. Once you embed the right values, you will find that someone that is values-based will be driven so much by the things that they need to get done that they won't have time to be moral or immoral. They will go to the internet and they will pursue and seek the things that will help them achieve certain goals. You understand?
Yeah.
So I found that they were not able to calculate their money. But they would tell, I asked, how much do you think you should earn? They said, so I think I should earn 300,000. I said, if you have 300,000, write out quickly, what will you do with 300,000 today? They were never devoid of what to do with the 300,000 in paper. And I'll say to them, sit down and generate 300. What are the things? Just give me 5 things you can do to generate 300,000 naira. The way you've just spent this money generates. I couldn't think of anything. And then I realized that tomorrow we'll say that we have the society is not working. We have poor government. When you don't know how to create, you don't understand the principle of generation. You understand the principle of consumption, but you don't even understand the principle of generation. You are the people that are going into the workplace to solve problems for the country. This is a problem. How dare you can spend 300K on paper in a sitting? You cannot think. You are devoid of the practicality of solving a problem. You can't even provide a solution in that area of life. But you know how to calculate, and you don't even know how to calculate your money. I know how much I earn per hour. Every hour I don't sell a book, I know what I'm losing. I'm very clear. If I don't sell this amount, this is what I've lost. If I've lost this, then this cannot happen. When I calculated that, I spoke with the youth corpers, all of them wanted to work in mobile, blue chip companies, how many multinationals do we have in this country? How many of them can absorb the millions of graduates that we churn out on a yearly basis? Every year, new private schools are being started. Where are they going? Where's the work? What work are they coming to do? When most of our sectors are broken down, non-functional. They were functioning up to 20 years ago, but they've been run down by leaders who do not understand that their place of leadership is a place of service, to create, to expand, and to onboard the younger generation.
Yes.
So, didn't you fear me? I feared. I was very afraid. Not afraid, I was afraid. I said, I thought that, speaking to young professionals, I had gone far. I dropped the ball lower. So, what are you reading in school? They can't even construct a sentence. What am I even talking about? I was afraid. I was scared. I said, what is going on? What is happening? And of course, we got a few odd graduates that knew what they were doing, knew what they wanted. But you could just see this movement of they were just moving, not sure, uncertain. And these were brilliant people with potentials. Brilliant, intelligent, wonderful, magnificent people. If only they had been taught a course, values, creativity, responsibility, diligence, focus, wealth creation. Oh, that was all. All the mathematics, it just rubbished everything. My background is law. It just rubbished everything that I knew about formal education. I was like, the purpose of education is to enlighten, to solve, and to create. And if we're not doing that, then why are we educating people? Why do we keep churning them out? And I realized that we had to, start from, we had to create a structure, and we had to start creating new role models for children. We need to change the narrative. Even if the government, they're not paying attention to the fact that the curriculum, even if you trace the history of our curriculum and how it came to be, you will see that it's faulty. That our curriculum is not tight fit to address the needs of our society as is, to create true problem solvers and leaders who understand the place of problem solving, wealth creation. And I said, okay, so of course I had done the National Service Excellence Initiative and Inspire Excellence Initiative, and those platforms were focused on helping industry leaders redirect the way they approach the teachings, what the personal development training for their staff, that the needs assessment should be focused on values, because I felt that there needed to be a collaborative effort at every level. Everybody start teaching values. Everybody starts prioritizing values. Let's start teaching people values, because we lack a service consciousness. We lack the ability to solve problems. We don't understand why we work. What we want is go to a place where they will give you money and it is easy. We are looking for it's nobody's fault. And I'm not saying it's all of us, but the foundation, the curriculum has not really taught us how to live independently. And the dependency rate in Nigeria is about 97%. And what do I mean by dependency rate? I mean that the amount of people that are dependent on the few people that are working, it's a 97 or 87%. I checked that data about 2 years ago. That is the rate. Everybody working, not many people are working, but a few people working are carrying, balancing over 100 people. And these are able-bodied people who have high potential, but don't know how to channel those potentials. And values, like I said, values, once you embed those values, it will direct your course. It's just going to chart your course. So that was how I decided that, okay, if I was going to start in primary school, going through the curriculum, the drama, you needed to act a whole Nollywood production. It was very hard. I'm not an actor. I I don't know how to act films. I just understand problem solution. Problem solution. What solution can I provide? How can I bridge this gap today? What you can do is start to tell stories that will embed the values that you think every Nigerian should have, that should address the things that are important. One of the things I believe should be important for the average Nigerian child from the age of 6 is to understand unity, because we're a very diverse country. Very diverse. How many languages do we have? How many tribes do we have? Our land mass. We are so unique that we need to first of all understand the place of unity. We need to understand patriotism and love for country. Then we need to understand the place of authority. We need to understand obedience, honesty. And so I put together a book that would also resonate the love for country, the love for this country, you understand, in the children. And that's why you see on the face of the book, you have the coat of arms. We should have patriotism, loyalty, affiliation to those things are critical. Let's first of all understand, because Nigeria is the vehicle that will deliver every citizen to their destination. So a child born in Nigeria in 1980, the same age, same time, with another child born in America, you will find that their environment will affect their outcomes.
Yeah.
The environment affects. So we need to create an environment in Nigeria that enables children to start to thrive. And they need to grow up with that consciousness. A child by the age of 7, 8 in another country with a different set of curriculum, because even from primary school, the education system pushes them to understand, and of course, no education system is 100% perfect, because I've read, on many of them, there are flaws here. If it is not working for the society, first of all, it's a problem. So we even need to go back to the drawing board. If we are almost the world's capital, poorest capital of the world, we need to go back to the drawing board, right? So I put all those things together, the magic ball, so that children get into it. The affiliation. The school in Abeokuta that I took, that's my best school, for now, Fulham School in Abeokuta. When I had to go and do a presentation with the book, children were Captain America, Iron Man, Alice in Wonderland, and they were everybody, but there was no Nigeria. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? What are we espousing? What are we telling our children? In the book, we had to put Ahmed, Nkechi, Ivie, and Tomiwa. Why? Because, we are in this together. We are all in this together. We need to learn to love each other, because we need to get to the place where we operate a meritocracy structure. The people that deserve to work in certain places, they are the ones that should get the jobs, because we are in trouble as far as I'm concerned. And so that's how I sat down. I said, okay, just write that book, put all those things together. And of course, we have 6 titles, and each title is focused on something specific. So the first title is focused on those foundational values that I think the Nigerian child should have and understand. The second book, that's Captain Exodus and the Little Big Orange, creativity and resourcefulness. We are very wasteful, and we do not understand that the things that we see were born out of the things that were not seen. And there's now that we need to start to teach children that nothing is a waste. You have to channel everything that you have, turn it into something. It is useful. That is potential. It is money. So we use the orange, as a way to show children that you can, whether you like orange, you don't like orange, you can use it to do a multitude of, okay, if you don't like it, make money out of it. If you don't like it, can you channel it? So, a framework will help children, well, we are not talking about a framework today, but those things will help children instantly. Mommy, I don't like this thing. Okay, if I don't like it, so what can I do with it? It will arouse curiosity, critical thinking, and creative thinking skills in them once you embed them in the proper values framework. And so we have done only 2 books, and we have the workbook to measure its impact on the children. Now, what we do with the public schools is that we know that everybody's trying. The family unit is trying, the society is trying, we are all doing the best that we can. Yet we know that we still need more intervention in the public schools. We need more of those children, 1, to start to read, and 2, to espouse values. And so we serve as an intervention for the public school space. What happens is that the children of the rich in this country can afford to take their children out of the country. When you take your children out of the country, then who are you leaving behind? You're leaving the children from the public school structure. And they're the ones that take on, I think I heard that some MC Oluomo had written a book on leadership. You understand? Not that it is wrong, but when you start to find that the people that are occupying the seats in politics, public office, they are the people that are here because that is the job that they have available to them. Now, if we want to bring everybody at par, it has to be holistic. We have to carry the public schools along with the private schools. And so we created a structure that helps us intervene and allows people who believe that values-based learning and education is critical to our development in long-term, sustainable and long-term development. We create that platform so that they buy into the project, and then we're able to distribute these books to the school children, and then we go there, we have conversations with them. Now, when we started that, we wanted to intervene with the teachers, but they wanted us to do everything. And while we don't mind doing everything, the truth of the matter is, for now, we can't afford to create some intervention for the teachers, because anybody that is espousing values to a child must also have values. You can't ask someone without values to give values to somebody that does not understand values. It's impossible. There again, we said, okay, so we will still not relent. So we have started with Ajegunle, and we wrote the book in 2018. The whole of 2019, we were able to distribute about 11,000 or 10,000 books. And we resumed again this year because we didn't do anything in 2020. We resumed again this year, and I think by the end of this month, we'll be done with Ajegunle. So it's part of our intervention to ensure that it's a holistic structure that we are running. We have the framework, we have the workbook, and then we have the books that we give out to the children in the public schools. We sit with them, we address them, we go back to okay, so in Ajegunle, what we do with the books is that they take out 10 minutes during their break to ensure that the children read, the teachers support the children reading the books for 10 minutes. So they take out 10 minutes from their break time. Even when you get to the public schools, you realize that even literacy within the public school, it's really poor. And the intervention from the private sector is really critical, because the government seems to believe that they don't have money, and without money they can't do anything. But I dare say, money is not the first thing. The first thing is a willpower and intent and a clear goal and an outcome that you need to derive from that goal. So that's what we are doing with the public schools.
Wow. There's a lot of work to be done. Thinking about it, I'm just thinking to myself, how could we collaborate with you? There are people listening and going to listen to this live later on. I really, really, really want people to support what you're doing. Individuals as well as organizations out there. And I just want you to just tell us ways in which we can do that. How can we support what you're doing?
For now, the only platform we have we call it a Shapers Community, and we'll be bringing everything out, gradually. It's Shapers Community, and it's just a book drive where we ensure that people are clear. I want to train children on values education here, or I want the children in a particular local government. So we've had people get books and take it to their villages, a few schools in their villages. Then we put them through how to, communicate the message of values and start to embed it. Values education is not a one-day affair.
Yes,
it's not one-off. You just start, once you create that framework, and you start to keep people into it. But for now, when the children see the book and we have conversations with them, and they see that, there are people in here, that look like me, that this can be me, then, it inspires them. And, we do believe that the government will get on board gradually, because we are creating opportunities and avenues for conversations, and the importance of carrying everybody along on this project. But for now, it's just the book drive. Anybody that believes, I want to support children. So when people buy books, I'll probably put the picture up today. We sent 167 books to the Academicator in Warri sometime last year, and they are using that book. So he put up something on his page where they took one particular topic, I think it was honesty, and they shared, with the children. So basically, for now, if anybody would if you believe, or any organization believes in values-based learning and education, then we serve as an intervention to create that framework to ensure that you embed those values for the children through our books, our workbooks. So you buy the book, the workbook. If you want us to train some children on values-based learning or values-based education, then we're available. So we do the training for schools, we do it for parents, and then we have a 32-week curriculum for children that is starting in April of this year. It's like I said, values is not in one day. The values we teach must teach children cognitive, social, emotional, and behavioral. You must teach them to know the value, to become the value, and respond consistently in line with those values. Because until values education targets those three aspects, it's not fully embedded, and the child does not respond by default. He does it out of fear, or he's not sure. My mommy said this. He doesn't understand how to use values to start to make choices that will drive outcomes that are beneficial to him and for him to thrive for the you can support the children, buy the book. If you want us to go one step further, buy the book and a workbook for 3 children. If you want us to go a step further, then say, okay, we want to do the whole framework for 25 children within an area. So those are the intervention levels that we have.
Because I've got Johnson Anor in the comment there saying that he wants to support with some books. So if people want to support and contribute some, finances towards it, maybe they're in diaspora, they're not actually in the country, but they want to contribute and support what you're doing. How do they do that? Do they go onto your Facebook page? Not Facebook, sorry, your Instagram page, and maybe send you a message?
Yeah. For now, we're going via DM until we become electronic. That's when our website is available, and you can get all the information that you want out of it. The website should be out at the worst case. It's just a bit of delay back and forth, tweaking one or two things. It should be out soon. For now, last year we had a young man. He really wanted us to. He was really keen to intervene. So he reached out to us, and we were able to, I think he got a number of books. It's part of the books that we recently distributed when we resumed in February. So yes, for now, my DM is open. Anybody that wants to intervene, people have called, I'd like to buy some books for children, I'd like to do this. So until we create an electronic structure which makes it easier for them for the process and for us to scale, then for now, you just have to DM me, and then we will get those books out to the children as soon as possible.
So I'm doing a call right now to everyone that's listening to me. It is important what our sister is doing. She's doing a great work, and we need to support it. So I want you to flood that DM, flood it, so we can get the books out there. I know that, I think you've spoken about this before, that some of the communities created like a book club for children living within in rural areas, where they can come together and have that book, have access to that. So we can really drive this and push this forward. So I really want everyone to DM my sister. How much is for one book, one of the Captain?
Every book is 2,500. So I'll tell you an interesting story. Shape a Child was a response to COVID for us, because we were not retailing, we're not in any bookshop, because we had a goal, an outcome. We want to flood this into the schools in every state, and start to push values education. So Shape a Child was a response. Okay, now COVID has come. How do we continue this message? Okay, we've not really focused on parents, you understand? We've not targeted parents, and, because parents, like I said, the values-based learning is a holistic, collaborative effort.
Yes.
And it should target, the whole pyramid. Everybody should be involved. So because that was our first year, so 2019 was our first year. In 2020, we were meant to onboard parents, but COVID came, and then we just had to, okay, how do we do this? Go into Shape a Child instantly and start to, retail. So we've never retailed, and this season. That's between May, when we started Shape a Child, and now is the time we retailed. And in opening that retail market, we realized that there was a huge opportunity there, and that there were also parents who were very keen, adults and people like you yourself. I have met so many amazing, fantastic, wonderful, people that you guys give me so much joy. You understand? Because I thought I was a lone voice in the wilderness. But opening Shape a Child, I realized that we are many. And if we come together and we collaborate, we stick together, we make our voices loud. I say it is the person that shouts the loudest that they hear. If we continue to shout values and scream values and institutionalize it and put it right, within another 5 years, you will find that things will start to change in the society. Change starts with us, with me, and then with other people. So Shape a Child was just a response to that's when we actually opened our retail arm. So we're still, working things out and trying to put everything together. But I'm sure within the shortest possible time, we would definitely, have that well arranged. So yes, we are now creating that platform for people to donate. If it's 10 books, 50, 30, 20, because we are selling in large quantities. So we are now excited to know that more people are really eager for us to create a values-based society that actually, where we will have leaders or create and generate leaders who are values-based and understand how to move Nigeria to where it really needs to be tomorrow.
Fantastic. Do you want to share your Instagram page? I think it's Shape
a Child.
Shape a Child. It's Shape underscore.
Shape_a_child. Yes.
Let me see if I can put it on here.
Yeah. We are shaping, molding, changing the narrative, disrupting dysfunction, and we're trying to make sure that dysfunction does not become functional. Dysfunction will not become functional. We're not going to rob our children the right to become the very best, to thrive in the 21st century. Too much is going on in the world, and we need more creators. We need to, bring out the best in our children, and we have to do it through a values-based framework. Yeah.
Definitely, and we're supporting you all the way. So I'm calling all the parents in diaspora. I'm calling, all the parents, and not just parents, individuals who are aligned to this vision, to go onto your Instagram page and send you a DM and contribute something towards the vision, towards purchasing books to be distributed all across the country. I just want to say thank you very much. You've given us so much gems, so much knowledge today. I really, really appreciate what you've done, and I really appreciate I'm supporting you right behind. And I know when the website is up and running, that's like it. We're just going forward, and we will be able to make payments online. And if you can, when the website is up, if you can, commit to a monthly subscription of some sort, and just keep the cash flow flowing through so that the work can reach far and beyond. We will really appreciate it. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you so much
for doing this.
Thank you. And I thank you to the community, and thank you to everybody who supported, called, sent me a message, featured me. Thank you so much, KG. I love you with all my heart, and I'll always love you. And to everybody who joined us today, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. We need to create a values-based society. We need to get it right.
Yes.
Every 200 million, we cannot go like that. No, we need to get it right. And let's use your platforms to speak values. Use your platforms to speak the things that are right. Dysfunction will never become functional. Right will never be wrong, regardless of how long or how many people accept it. Let's do the right thing by the children. Let's do right by our children. Let's do right by our children. Let's do right.
So that, so in 30 years' time, we will turn things around.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's not a one day,
it's not one
do
day.
it now and leave it. It's consistent. We're rebuilding.
We got here, the way we are in the country now, it was a consistent, it was consistent actions that got us here. So if we're going to get out, we need consistency. And we need more people to come on board and stay consistent. Dysfunction will never be functional. It will never.
It will never be functional. Not on our watch.
Not on our watch.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, from Taiwo, from Chi, from Dio. Let me just go through the list. We've had loads of comments in here. Sorry, I've not been able to respond to the comments from Tolu, from Cobbler, Care NG, from Taiwo. Taiwo's a friend of mine. Thank you, Taiwo. From Maureen, from, I am Chike Shola Ehire Rem. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. But yeah, for everyone who's tuned in, thank you so much. Thank you, sis. Catch up with you
Thank you,
later.
KG.
Have a lovely evening.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Bye.